Hi, I'm Linda Williams of Who's Apple Dynamic. I'm a trained psychotherapist, a behaviorist, a life coach, an executive coach. You name it. If it's got anything to do with your destiny, that's who I am. I wanted to get a little personal with you today. I went through a period of time where apparently I was 80% blind in one eye and significantly impaired in the other, and I was clueless. And what happened was my sister insisted that I get some help, and long story short, they wound up switching out my lenses. They took the lenses, the old cloudy lenses out and put in new ones, and over a period of weeks, my vision cleared up. I began to see, and I was not very happy with what I began to see. Huge stains in my light carpet, cobwebs all in the walls, just stains on the wall, dirt on the floor. I didn't see any of that mess, apparently for years. And as I wrote my book and shed multiple layers of trauma that I had stuffed for years, I recognized that my going blind was so slow and so progressive that I didn't know that I was blind. And I began to recognize that our loss of hope and vision and purpose is just like that. We lose it so progressively, and we get so caught up with life's blows that we're just totally clueless that we're even off track. And some of us have suffered so deep a trauma and so much pain in our lives that, please, the last thing on our mind is what? Think about a dream I had when I was a kid? I don't think so. But the truth of the matter is that there's a lot that we want to accomplish in life, and there's so much in us that we never find true joy in our lives until we connect with that. What I recognized from writing the book and overcoming trauma from molestation, rape, domestic violence, I had a lot to stuff, and trust me, I stuffed every bit of it. But what I recognize is that it's stuff in that mess. I was really clouding any chance of catching a vision of why the heck I'm here. Why am I breathing? What's the point of me here? And frankly, I'm here to help other people walk through that trauma. I'm here to meet people in the middle of that. I'm here to walk people who are confused through this battlefield of the mind, and to understand how to, since we're talking military terms here, what I do basically is help confused and frustrated individuals to become a triple threat on that battlefield of the mind and root out, disarm minefields that tend to sidetrack our destiny. I spent 7 years and 6 days writing that book. And it took so long because it would only progress as I healed. There were several writer's block situations I ran into that I was not going to get past unless and until I dealt with some other trauma that had surfaced. At one point, I remember standing in the floor trembling as if I was really just in a domestic violence situation that had happened 30 years ago. At one point, I had to admit to somebody a rape that I had endured 30 years ago. And through writing the book, I got over that roadblock, and I was writing the book, and I recognized that, you know what? I've been blaming myself for that rape. I've been telling myself I deserved that rape. I've been ashamed of that rape. I had internalized that shame and that guilt, and I had a lot of self-loathing that led me into one sorry relationship after another. All the time I'm wanting, wishing, waiting, and praying for that healthy, affirming relationship. I just kept what I call doing the goofy, stuck in this cycle, this Groundhog's Day cycle of just one sorry relationship after the other, and none of it benefited me other than the fact that I learned what I don't like. Okay? Now, we have to understand basic sound behavioral science in order to recognize and root these mindsets out. So what I did was spend 6 months or more preparing the program that I'm offering you here at 60% off. I spent 7 years, 6 days writing the book, Whose Apple Is It Anyway? But then I spent months putting together the training for that, because they're just people. We all need this. We need this. Whether we can afford it or not, we need this. And I didn't want to exclude people who might not be in a position to do one-on-one coaching with me. And so what I did was I dug into that book, I pulled it to life, and I have these modules that I want to share with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video with a clip from an interview that I did with a UK podcast, Join Up Dots. It's based on the fact that when we look behind us, sometimes we can make sense of what didn't make sense when we were going through it. And it's like, now back in the day, I don't know, y'all too young to recognize this or remember this, we used to play Join the Dots. It would look like a piece of paper with just dots on it, but when you joined them up, it made a picture. And that's what Join Up Dots is. It's about the interviews people. It talks to them about when did they get the epiphany that everything that they had been through could be leveraged toward purpose. And that's what I get to do. See, the past is the past. It's gone forever. Nothing we can do about that. Can't change it, okay? But I recognize that the only revenge I could get on my past is to make it count. And that's what I intend to do. And making it count for me means that I'm going to walk you and everybody else I can through not making the same mistakes I made. So you can recognize that there's a secret command center that empowers breakthroughs in your life, your relationships, and your careers. So I'm offering this training for 60% off. But back to Join Up Dots, we're going to let you hear the end of the show. It's called Sermon on the Mic. And what David Ralph, the host, does is he lets you have that mic at the end of the show. So you can go back and tell your younger self what you know now. What would I say to that little 14-year-old girl that I left behind decades ago thinking that she was my problem? The little girl that I'm darn near 50 years old sitting at my dining room table and recognize, hold on a minute, wait. When I turned my back on her, I turned my back on everything I needed to be to reach my destiny. I turned my back on the one part of myself that was all that she needed to be to fulfill my purpose on earth. I turned my back on the one part of me that was more than enough. More than enough. And I'm going to close this out with that interview. It's just a short clip. It's the part where I have the mic, and I certainly hope that it will inspire you.
Here we go with the best bit of the show, the Sermon on the Mic, the Sermon on the Mic.
Oh, Linda, you poor, you precious girl. Don't you understand that you are already all you need to be to accomplish what God put you here for? I want you to know that I understand that you've been hurt, that you've worn your heart on your sleeve, that you've been very naive. But what I want to tell you, my dear precious girl, is that you should not turn your back on that in the interest of protecting yourself from something that was done to you. They are wrong. Yes, I understand you're naive and you're tired of hurting, you're tired of crying. But my dear precious girl, I want you to embrace who you are. Don't leave this little girl behind as you move through life. Take her with you. Let her grow up. You're all you need to be to accomplish God's purpose for you in this earth. Understand as you go forth, you're just a little 14-year-old girl right now, grown up in the rural Michigan. You had no socialization to prepare you for college, for the people you would meet down the line. You don't understand how to discern the character of people enough to protect yourself wisely. So what I'm asking you to do is, as you move through life, and you will encounter many bumps in the road, I want you to take that little girl with you. I want you to realize that she is the culmination of everything you need to be. The hardships you're going to endure down the line, don't let them become you. Don't let them become who you are. Embrace and carry that little girl through with you, because guess what? You're going to have to return to her in order to have any impact on the world the way God intended for you to have. So I know you're crying. I want you to just come over here and let me hug you, little Linda, because I want to encourage you that you are enough. You are enough. You don't have to try to bend and twist to what you think everybody needs you to be. There's power in the truth of who you are. So as you move through life, remember this talk we had with each other. There are going to be many times down the line where, unbeknownst to you, you're standing right on a dot. Imagine your life going forward. You have the line where you stepped forward, you landed on a dot. You're clueless, but you're on a dot. And then you moved a little bit further, and it was another dot. Now, when you look back at that, it's going to look all askew. It's going to look all askew, like this line's going that way, that line's going there. What's that dot doing there? And all of those dots. But my friend, I want you to look at the dot you ended up on. And when you look at that, even though you went all around and back and forth and sometimes backwards, you landed on the very dot you're supposed to be on at this moment in your life. Be encouraged, my friend. Remember who you are.
Linda, how can our audience connect with you?
whosapple.org. That's WHOSE.org. You can get all my contact information there. If you're interested in coaching, let me know. There's plenty of things to do there. There's the book trailer, whosapple.org.
We'll have all the links on the show notes. Linda, thank you so much for spending time with us today, joining up those dots. And please come back again when you have more dots to join up, because I do believe that by joining up the dots and connecting our past is the best way to build our futures. Linda, thank you so much.
It's been an honor.